after a divorce, and after the untimely passing of my father. So that's how I became a writer. And here I am.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the Real Zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome to another podcast, Conversation and Friends. This actually Sunday. Shannon's away on an outing. She'll be back on Wednesday to finish up with part 2. But I got a special guest tonight. Let's bring in Miss Coach D. Layla.
Hey, Trent, how are you?
What's going on? What's going on?
Not much. It's a quiet Sunday. Got my ass whooped playing video games with my son, and I'm humbled and back here.
So Shannon will be back on Wednesday. We'll do a recap and actually get into the girl talk of the dating that you had. Was that a couple of days ago, whatever?
Yeah, it was Tuesday. It was a lunch date.
Gotcha.
Never
so
happened
tonight's topic, dating after 50, silver singles. Got a couple of tips for the folks who's actually back out in the dating pool and what have you. It's been a minute and a change of scenery for the dating since we dated what, in our 30s?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Many a moon ago.
Many moons ago. And I tell you what, the thought process and the change of all these women compared to dating you is light years apart. Totally different, in my opinion.
Well, the men out there are no joy to be around. I tell you that.
Guys, let's get to some of these comments real quick. See who's in there with us tonight. What's up, Martine? How you doing, sister? That's Martini out of actually from Detroit by way of Georgia.
Oh.
And actually, she says that she's 55 and looking to go on a date or two. Okay, good stuff. You don't look nowhere near 55, Martini. Knock it off. Good stuff. She don't look nowhere near 55 in my opinion. But yeah, it's been a little different, man, for us dating scene since you and I dated, not early 30s or what have you, but totally different situation, totally different mindsets. And I have to say it's kind of disappointing, in and out and say, but I tell you what though, the dating scene at 50 for me, it's a whole bunch of them. It's plenty to choose from. I'm surprised because it's almost like I'm 51. I'm going back to 25. I'm like, wow, these women are really, really out here.
Mm-hmm.
Quite interesting. What's your thoughts on dating over 50?
Oh, you know how they say there's more fish in the sea?
Before you do that, let's get to this whole dating thing. What day was it? Was
Tuesday.
It like Wednesday or something?
Well,
Tuesday?
he's a surgeon, so he had to reschedule because he had a surgery that came up. Fine, no problem. We'll do lunch. So we did lunch.
How did it go?
I'm the type, I will let you order for me as long as you don't order one thing. There's one thing I will never eat in a restaurant, no matter where. Do you remember what it is?
I don't know what the condition. Okay. I'm not sure.
Good save. It's lobster. Because I'm from Newfoundland.
That's right.
Lobster, we can go out on the rocks and we grab lobster. So to me, lobster is like what you eat when you can't afford to go to the grocery store.
I remember that.
Right?
So
I'm like, so I had told it. I said, before, like we had talking the day before. I said, you could, if you like your old fashioned, you'd like to order for me, fine. Just don't order lobster. Firm no, that's a boundary. Don't cross it.
Right.
And I don't like.
So we knew this beforehand.
Yeah, and I don't like roses. And what? Because you can get roses anywhere.
Exactly.
You want flowers, I want thought into it. So very simple. He knew in advance. What does the man do? brings me roses, and orders me lobster.
Wow. So that means he wasn't listening to you.
No. So there's one red cross. Shannon's gonna love that. So then he was talking about Kevin Samuels. I'm like, oh, God, no, not this. So I'm
Uh-oh.
like, and it was just very toxic. Like, men should lead and women should follow. I'm like, that's great if you're a man who can lead.
So this is the
And
first day. He just go right in for the kill
for
on the
the
first
kill,
day.
yeah. So, but it made it easy for me. So, but he's like, well, you're a strong woman. You're very masculine. I'm like, masculine? I said, I have 40 something lip glosses in my thing. I'm far from masculine. I said, I
Right.
am a strong woman. I said, because you are intimidated by me doesn't mean I'm intimidating. And
Wow.
he didn't understand that if you have a strong woman, you need to be an equally strong man. You can't be an insecure man. That's just not going to work.
Absolutely.
And because I'm not going to deal with you. I'm just like, whatever, man. It's like, take your little nonsense and go find someone else to talk to.
Wait, so you actually made a decision right at the dinner table that you weren't going to see him again?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And then you know what? I believe you because I know you.
Mm-hmm. So we had dinner. I was very
Third in the night.
polite. I thanked him. Yeah, I paid. I paid for the tip and everything. He's like, when will we go out again? I'm like, we will never go out again, sir. And I told him exactly why. And
What was his response? What was his response?
He's like, well, I thought women like that kind of thing. I'm like, sir, women at 20 might like that kind of thing because they don't know where they're at and they can be easily groomed and modeled because they're not secure in their own selves yet. But at 50, you got to bring a whole different game because at 50, we have our things.
It's totally different.
You're talking to a
totally
whole different group of women, and
totally different.
That nonsense is not going to play because we're going to like whatever, man. Next, women live longer than men, and older women are quite happy living by themselves.
Wow. Well, I brought on exit for your gentleman friend. Hopefully, he's tuning in to check it out or what have you. But I got a couple of tips about dating. You know what I'm saying? After 50. After 50. I got a couple of pointers. I'll point them out throughout the show, but there's one that comes to mind. You ever heard of the pineapple theory?
Mm-hmm.
You know, first of all, you know, for pineapples, everyone doesn't love pineapples. No. But when we go to a house, someone's home, and they serving pineapples on the plate, we'll just take them and not say anything, just kind of gently push them aside and throw them away.
Yeah, proper
manners. Like with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's not for everyone. That's right, just like with you. Next.
Yeah. It's true.
Everybody's taste is not the same, and you just got to find the same pineapple that fits you.
Exactly. And people like to say that somebody completes them. That's toxic. You want somebody who compliments you.
Exactly.
Because you should be complete in yourself. Like I'm divorced, and so I'm single, and I'm like, he needs to bring me peace because I'm quite happy by myself. Like, I'm good.
Exactly.
So I've had all my therapy. I've done all my work. If you don't come to me having your work done and being emotionally healed from all the toxic and baggage, because at 50 you have baggage. I don't care what you say. There has been baggage in your life, and you have to have therapy and get sorted out. If you haven't done that work, then I'm just going to coach you, and that's going to be it. Exactly. That conversation is not going to go any further than that, and that's what happened on Tuesday.
The first tip. Let's give them the first tip.
Okay.
Get over the issue of dating online, but don't completely give up on traditional tactics. So, I mean, with today's world, I mean, you could actually, date them online and what have you, but you have to get over the thought of everyone's online at this point. Mm-hmm. All these smartphones out here, and everyone's online, tablets, everything. Everyone's online. So you have to get over that thought of, I don't want to date online. Yeah. Don't get away, don't throw the whole traditional thing away, but if you want to date, you're going to have to do it online at some point.
Yeah, especially we just came through a pandemic. Lots of people who started out regular dating were dating online because they didn't have any choice.
Exactly. So. Exactly.
All right, what's the next tip?
Next tip is going to be one second. Leave all your baggage at the door.
Mm-hmm.
You have to recognize that, man. You have to know that you have baggage before you even start dating again. Mm-hmm. Just like you said earlier, everybody at 50 or more than sure has problems, has
Mm-hmm.
issues, a ton of them that haven't been addressed. Address your own issues before you actually indulge in any type of relationship, entertain any type of, you don't know more, or entertain any type of relationship. You have to.
Yeah, don't bleed on the person that didn't cut you. Right?
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah.
That's deep. You're absolutely right. And then, you know, the last one will be have a general idea of what you want.
Mm-hmm.
I know exactly what I want. I know exactly what I'll accept. I know exactly what I won't accept.
Mm-hmm.
I go in the gate. I go in the gate talking about that. If you like it, you like it. If you don't,
Mm-hmm.
we can get past the rigmarole and just move forward, move on. Let's go.
Yeah. At 50, we don't have time for games.
No time,
Like,
not at all, not at all.
don't
Not,
leave me. Yeah, it's crazy. But uh, is it Martine?
yeah,
Writing Girl?
Martini.
She's blowing up the comments. She has lots of great comments.
Okay, go ahead. Let's pull them up.
I can't. You have to do that.
I got you.
Okay.
Go ahead. You can read them all. Can you see
Oh,
it?
she said, I explained to my people that at this point in my life, we certainly got baggage, correct? And she knows what she
Absolutely.
wants as well, right? And
Exactly.
go up one. Pairing up with a person should enhance the fun and the conversation. Two people should already be a whole. Exactly.
Absolutely, Martine. Absolutely. Totally agree.
And I was telling Trent about a great book called The Five Love Languages, because the problem is most of the time we love people in the way that we want to be loved.
Exactly. You
So,
know, I read that book when I was going through my situation over in
mhm,
Michigan.
yep.
Actually, you know, it was so funny. I was introduced to that book by a teacher at Kennedy School, a
Mhm,
daycare, and she knew that my ex-wife and I were going through some issues, and she mentioned that book.
mhm.
So I read that book, and it got me over a whole bunch of stuff, and a lot of whys were answered, and what have you.
Yeah.
That's a great read.
It is because it helps you find what your love language is, and then it helps you figure out what the person you're with love language is, because it shows you how to communicate, what actions to take, and then what things
Exactly.
to avoid. Yeah.
Exactly.
So, like for me, mine are quality time and physical touch. So when people buy me gifts, I'm just like, that's fine and dandy, but can we hang out?
I think this is a first here. This is a first. Repeat that for the ladies in the back that didn't hear you.
Well,
So
no,
gifts,
no, yeah, I know where you're going, but that's not for everybody though. So
exactly.
my
But
love, yeah,
let's just say this though.
mhm,
Me buying you a gift will not equate to love.
no,
Maybe I'm just giving you a gift.
hmm
But I mean, there are folks out there that are sticklers for gifts.
because
That's like
for some, that's like Xavier receiving gifts is he loves receiving gifts. That's one of
yeah,
his love languages.
gotcha.
So receiving gifts and quality times are his things. Like he's not a physical touch, but quality time, like he will sit right next to me and we'll just do different things, and he's happy and giving
Well,
gifts. But
let's
a
just
lot
say, let's go ahead.
there's some people who because they don't know that what their love language is, they it's a scarcity mindset. If somebody doesn't buy me something, they don't love me because they grew up not getting anything
Hold
and
on,
not being
Martine
loved.
has a question for you. She says, "Is that
Sure.
Gary Chapman?"
The five.
I don't think
Yes,
it is.
yes, it
Is it?
is. Yeah,
Yes, it.
I had to think about that.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
I have
So
it
I want you to
posted.
expand on that a little more. So if you had a client
Mhm.
who only thought of gifts as love, what would you tell them? What would you tell her or him for that
First
matter?
thing I would ask them is, they receive gifts as a child? So
One
if
more
they're
time. Say that one more time.
did they receive gifts as a child? So
God,
if there is a lack in their childhood, because remember everything goes back to childhood. So
exactly.
if there was a lack in their childhood, that may come up in their five love languages if they haven't had therapy and healed all the trauma that they have. Like there
Exactly.
are other people who receiving gifts is their love languages, but it's not a mandatory. Like
Exactly.
they love getting gifts, but it's not something that they have to have every day. So it's a fine line because you have to walk. As there's like some people are very materialistic, so that's a whole different conversation.
That's a whole different another
Yeah, there's a
problem as well.
whole different conversation. Yeah,
Good stuff. Good stuff. Good stuff.
yeah.
So one more tip. Don't just give up because you've had a bad few days, like you just had a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you threw in the towel today or after Tuesday, what are you gonna do? I mean,
I don't know. There's plenty of fish in the sea. I just have to pull out the
perfect mindset.
three-eyed legged ones and look for the next one. So there's like
Wait,
what 8
what
billion
did
people on the planet.
What did you say?
Listen, some of these fish look like they were born around a nuclear reactor. All right. Andrew says dating after 50 is not cool. Where is it? So Marty says I do like. Yeah.
So he said Andrew says dating after 50 is not cool. Why not? What's wrong with that, Andrew? What's wrong with dating after 50? I mean, come on, just because you're 50 don't mean that you stop living. I don't agree with that, brother. Dating after 50 is not cool. Why not? I mean, you're still young. 50 is actually young, in my opinion.
And Marty says I do like gifts. I like I like touching and being touched, and I like going for rides.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So hopefully Andrew answers me back. Why is it not cool? I disagree with that when you're talking about dating after 50. So you mean you're gonna settle with anything that comes your way, or try to figure this out? What's your thoughts on that, D?
It depends on how you look at it, because it is hard depending on what your wants are and what your needs are, and if you're clear on them. So like this date was a setup. So it was they're like, well, you guys would get along so well. You're both well educated, well rounded, blah blah blah.
Exactly.
Right?
So it goes back to the point that the last point that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Have a general idea of what you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you go in open with communication, there shouldn't be no issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're on up and up, everything should go as planned. But we're living in an imperfect world, doing imperfect things.
Yeah.
You got to run through a couple of them to get to the right one, in my opinion.
That's the same thing. You don't buy the first car you see on the lot. You take a few for a test drive and check them out, then see what you can go with. So I have a friend, Dave Elliott, really, really super nice guy. And he had a book. It's called Shame, Shit, Different Date. And it has a workbook.
Right.
And this book, when I tell you this book gets you into your stuff, like you'll be reading this book and you'll be like, well, damn, I thought it was great. Maybe I need to do a work on some things here.
Yeah. What's the name of that book?
Same shit, different date, but shit is asterized because it's on Amazon.
Let's get into it real quick. Let's talk to Tammy Gator.
What she said?
My good sister out of Memphis, Tammy Gator. What's going on, Tammy?
Mm-hmm.
What she say here? Can you see that?
You truly have to know who you are and how you are wired. You must learn to ask for what you need and be able to express how you need it. Yep. Exactly.
Absolutely.
And if you can't do that at 50,
something's definitely wrong.
Yeah. Then call me up for a coaching session.
There you go. Good stuff.
We'll get you there.
So Andrew says he came back with a comment. That's too old. It's time to settle. And who's
never settle.
So you said that again. I appreciate you coming back. That's Mr. Andrew Gilliard from the Yacht Club. He has a clothing line. Good stuff there. But I totally disagree with you, brother. Settling. That's the key word. Settling. Yeah. You shouldn't settle, man. You should not settle. I mean, what you gonna settle? Not be happy for the rest of your life? Come on, man. You got to keep on going till you figure it out.
Yeah.
You
need to find the up to your down. You need to find the person who works with you. Like, can you live with somebody who's really weird? Like, maybe your person is not who you think it is.
Exactly.
You could have this vision of your person as this 3-button suit, like very prim and proper, goes to church every Sunday, and your person could be the hillbilly who fixes cars in the backyard, who absolutely adores you and worships the block around you walk on.
Exactly. In my opinion, that's you're doing yourself a great disservice when you just settle. When you say, the clock is ticking, no, I'm not settling for that. Why have that dried out pork chop when I want a porterhouse? Mm-hmm. I'm not settling for that. Not for me. That doesn't work for me. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
Oh, Tammy and Martin have their own conversation now. the yin and the yang, exactly.
Absolutely. Oh, she says, I will not, in all caps, settle. Exactly. Agreed. It's later for being shy. Exactly. Totally agree. Tammy said some other things up at it and it's still coming in.
You truly have to know. Where is it?
Right here. There we go. I think we went through that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we went through that one. Go down one for Marty. Shannon's much better at this. She says,
exactly.
I do want a man who's handsome and great to look at, one who takes care of himself. If you're deep into your adulthood as I am and I haven't gotten your teeth taken care of. Yep. So it depends. Okay. Now, teeth are a luxury bone in the U.S., so it all depends on what everybody's doing.
Explain it to the folks who don't know that you're actually from Canada.
Yeah. So I'm not American born. My father's American, my mother's Canadian. I was born and raised in Canada. So things look a little differently to me here. Like when I first moved here, everybody was very focused on what you do, not who you are.
And here's the crazy thing, folks. When she told me she was actually moving to the States, I'm like, why are you doing that? Well, what are you doing that for? I thought she was losing her mind. Yeah. But good stuff. Let's see. Andrew, he's back. Let's see what he says.
We got to use a little sense. Time is not reverting. That's true. Time is not reverting.
That's true, but I mean, if you living in that bubble, like, oh man, I gotta settle. That's just not my mindset. And I've been knowing you since we were 7 or 8, 9 years old. I've never settled, man. Not even as a kid. I'm not gonna settle just because I'm at 51. I'm not gonna do that. I drop them off and pick them up. If it doesn't work, keep it going until we get it right.
And take a close look at your list and make sure your list is realistic.
Exactly.
Because I've seen some lists who I've coached, and I'm like, "What is this? You want Eldris?"
Someone.
You're not going to get Shamar Moore. Like, come on, take him off. Take his name off the list.
I had a conversation with one of my friends. And I was like, man, I mean, you're just not gonna do that because, man, you're gonna need somebody to take care of you. No, I don't. I think I've proven that. Mm-hmm. I think I've proven that. Take care of me for what? I think I've proven them wrong with that one. Mm-hmm. So now it's still same mindset, different limp. That's all. Again, same mindset, different limp. Mm-hmm. So nah, man. I mean, come on. Settling for what? I don't believe in that.
There's no reason to settle. Yeah, see, she's not pressed.
Exactly. You know what that means? When I read that from Martine, I know Martine. So she's not pressed. She's definitely not pressed. She can definitely take care of herself. Mm-hmm. Definitely take care of herself. So she's not pressed. When you actually secure within yourself and you can actually take care of yourself, you're not going to be pressed for none of that, man. Pressed for what?
And people, I was telling a friend, nowadays, because women we do have our own stuff and we're doing our own thing, that the need for a man is not there. So you really need to bring your game because you have to be our piece. Otherwise, what are you bringing to the table? There's nothing.
Exactly. And that's what it is.
The whole table conversation is non-existent.
I'm glad you brought that up. For me, that's all it is for me. I just want my piece. That's it. Mm-hmm. Everything that I've gone through, I've lived out my life for a ton of years. I've done everything that I could possibly do, and then some. Right. I've superseded some of my peers. To be honest with you, I'm not bragging. I'm just being honest. Mm-hmm. But I'm not impressed by a lot of the superficial stuff these days. Bring me some peace, then we can talk. Exactly. You come with no peace, there's no relationship.
Mm-hmm. Because some people are still too into the drama because they don't understand themselves. They don't understand their own emotions. They're not able to have clear, concise, transparent conversations.
One more time.
What, clear, concise, transparent conversations?
Exactly. That's people run away from transparency. Mm-hmm. People run away all the way. People run away from transparency. So we're gonna take a real quick break.
Okay.
Get these commercials out of the way so we can actually get back to this conversation because these guys are in here, man. They're rolling in. So we'll be right back, folks.
Thanks for tuning into Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
Hey, good stuff. Got to get that business out of the way, folks. Business still calls. Got to get that business out of the way. Good stuff. Yeah, let's get back to these comments real quick. 1 second. Andrew, come back. Okay, cool. What does he say? Can you read that?
He says, I can take a woman who works at Popeye as long as she has the right attention we can build. I'm a leader.
Good stuff. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. And Martine, again, she's in there. Thanks. Appreciate it, Martine.
I've had guys tell me I'm too cool and calm. Yeah, I've been told I'm too real. Whatever that is.
Whatever that is. I mean, when someone says that, either male or female, they're not facing themselves. They don't want to face themselves. Mm-hmm. That means you said something and you've triggered something within them that's actually an issue that has not been addressed. Mm-hmm. So, I totally get that.
Yeah, because if you're going to date a coach and know upfront as a coach, you need to be prepared.
You're going to be very frustrated. Yeah. Very, very frustrated. She also says, in caps, I am peace. So, dude, watch
what you got.
Gotcha. Exactly. Good stuff. Good stuff there. Real good stuff, man.
And she also said, yes, those lists are wild. Some of my sister's friends have crazy lists. Yeah, and we have to look.
I never understood that, man. I mean, come on, that's unrealistic list.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it. Whether we male or female, it's unrealistic list. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, you need to have expectations and standards, and boundaries, those are fully acceptable. But you have to look at your list and like, don't say you want Shamar Moore or Idris Elba or like somebody else. They're like, for one, he's married. Idris Elba is, so take that right off the list and
Exactly.
focus on who you are, so you can understand who you're looking for. So that
One
it
more time
makes
so they
sense.
can understand that.
Focus on who you are, so you know who you're looking for.
There you go. Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Focus on who you are. But once you find yourself within yourself, the person's going to show right up.
Hmm. Yeah.
They're going to show right up. We will always find what once we find ourselves, we mirror that. At least that's what's supposed to happen.
Hmm.
We mirror exactly what we find within ourselves,
Yeah, and then you'll
whether it be good or bad.
yeah, but the energy that you give off, other people will try to hook you up, and that don't do it.
No way to
Do it.
so,
Don't
so
do it.
that date was from a hookup.
No, it's from a friend who tried to help me out. Yeah, her mind is in the right heart. She said some,
Right.
you know, whoever gets you is special and blah blah
I
blah.
mean, come on, a guy you can't get a guy one more shot at a date.
No,
He's a surgeon, D. Come on.
he didn't listen, sir. You can't get those easy things right, then the hard things are not going to happen.
That's good
Right?
stuff. That's good stuff. That's good. I mean, what I've known of you for all these years, you've been a straight shooter. So I'm more than sure everything you said, that's exactly what happened.
Hmm.
And you've always been a straight shooter. So he wasn't listening.
No.
He wasn't listening.
So
And you're
Tammy,
one of the easiest people to get along with.
listen, man. Unless you're trying to pull wool over my eyes, then I can see a liar coming.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right,
Exactly.
Tammy's got a. Can you pull her comment up?
Let's see. Let me get back over there one sec. Oh, Tammy said a mouthful. Hold on a second. Hold on, Tammy. Coming.
Bring it up.
Oh, wow. Go ahead.
Says dating at 50 can be difficult because by 50 we're for sure set in our ways and have more luggage. If we have not did the work, and let's face it, not many people are willing to put in the work of becoming self-aware. Yep. Showing up for the work needed is admitting that you need it. There's no reason to settle, but truth be told, most are in the shit of settling. Age ain't nothing but a number. Great people. If one is not tuned in, turned on, and tapped into the essence of who they are, it does not matter. Does it? Is there more? It does not matter. That's it. Yeah.
Gotcha. Cool. Good stuff.
Yeah.
That's Tammy Gator. Tammy pops in from time to time. A good friend of mine. Actually, she's a coach as well. She's a life coach as well. Out of Memphis. Wonderful coach.
Nice.
Good
We
stuff.
We need to connect then, Tammy. I like fellow female life coaches.
Absolutely. She's a straight shooter as well, just like you.
Yeah.
Straight shooter.
There should be a coaching school, straight no chaser. Because
Exactly.
some of the toxic positivity in the coaching world is not helpful.
It's not helpful because all they're doing is actually shining that up and putting something pretty on top of something that's buried inside.
Yeah. It's and that's what happens a lot of time is because people will often bring their representative out instead of who they are because they're unsure of who they are. So you'll get
Tammy said she would love to connect.
Yeah.
I make that happen, Tammy. Good stuff. Good stuff.
They put out this faux persona, or even worse, they will mirror. They'll use like NLP, and they'll mirror you, so that you think you have this other person, and then when they get you, they'll become themselves, and it's like it's like a bait and switch almost.
Exactly. I mean, we've all done. I know I have. I've actually given my representative for a ton of years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But at the point, once you find yourself within yourself, you're able to move past all of that foolishness. You won't settle for that. You won't settle.
Yeah. And
settling is a bad word.
It is.
When you talk about relationship, settling for anything, that's just a bad word. That's just a negative word.
Yeah, because it just ends in regret.
Exactly. Martine, what she say here? Let's see.
She can't stand toxic positivity. Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it is, and you'll see it a lot. Like you'll be in the relationship groups, and it's all about everything's the good vibes only. It's spiritual bypassing, and if somebody has a bad date, they'll gaslight. And I'm like, come on, man, this is not how you do this. You need to
No, not at all.
get down and find out what's going on. But it's
But the thing that goes back to what I've been talking about for a number of years, speaking on it at different events. People run away from trauma. People trauma talk, they don't want to hear that.
no.
People run away from that. They don't want to talk about toxic stuff. They run away from that.
Mhm.
You become the negative person when you actually address it.
No.
And
Oh, yeah.
here's the crazy thing for me. Like when I was addressing it, I would address myself first to make him feel comfortable. Like, hey, well, he's being transparent. Let me go and open up and be transparent. But they still run from that.
Yeah.
That is straight talk, no chaser, honest talk. They run from that. People, honestly, they get so comfortable in hurt and pain to where it becomes normal for them.
Mhm.
And they're looking at me like I'm the negative person. No, ma'am. No, I'm not.
No.
I'm one of the most positive people you can meet. But because I'm talking and bringing that trauma to them, they're not interested in that type of talk. They're not interested in that at all.
Yeah.
Martina, one more time.
So where do the 50-somethings go for being in the presence of others who are cool and dateable? Find different groups, like different. Like if you have a hobby, go to a hobby group. Set up a hobby group.
Exactly.
Like find different outlets where you'll find like-minded people. Mhm. Folks love to pretend. Oh yeah.
Perfect answer, Martine. Folks love to pretend. It's easier for them.
Yeah.
Straight answer. That's why folks like yourself have a hard time dating, because straight truth teller, man. Straight up truth teller. I was telling her a couple of weeks ago, I think it was last week or so, that we were speaking. What have you, folks? I mean, when you know your truth, people run from that. Oh shit, she's a truth teller. I'm not gonna mess with her. They run from that because they're lying to themselves. That's all.
It
You
is.
have to know that. So there's nothing wrong with you. Everything is wrong with them.
Yeah, in our age, it's honesty. We're 50. There's no point in playing games or running around the bush or anything. Just be open and honest, and
That's
tell
it.
people the truth and where you're sitting and what you're doing and what you're looking for. So it's the whole situationships and friends with benefits and all that stuff. I'm like, you're 50. Grow up.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
either
Exactly.
you're in a committed relationship or you're just doing your thing. Like be honest about it.
Andrew just sent me a message. Hey, Drew, I'm sorting through these messages. Normally, Shannon's here to take care of these. She'll be back on Wednesday to fill in that reader comment duties here. So bear with me, brother.
Oh, Tommy picked up a good one. I can take. Yeah, no, go down. It's the last one down. Last one I can see. Starts with people are mesmerized.
Yep, I got it. Okay.
Yeah, people are mesmerized by their trauma. It has become their norm and a foundation for how to build and who they build with. Yep.
Exactly. Say
Yep.
that one more time for the people in the back.
It says people are mesmerized by their trauma. It has become their norm and a foundation for how they build and who they build with.
Exactly.
Yep. You
In
are right.
layman terms, let me break that down in layman terms. So they get comfortable in their mess.
Mm-hmm.
They get comfortable in their mess. They've had to master this for a number of years, to where it's normal for everyone else, because they notice, and that's what they recognize in that person. But that's not really that person.
Yeah.
They're masking it. That's a mask.
And people are really good at wearing masks.
I totally agree.
So it's you have to, until you can step out in your truth, in who you are, in all our mess, and admit your mess. Like I'm messy. I have trauma. I have baggage. I have all that stuff. And
But to me, that's a normal thing, man. That's for someone to admit their mess. That's the person you really want to be with.
yeah, that's the
If
one
they
you
say,
want.
"Hey, listen, I come with a whole bunch of shit. What you can do? You gonna work with this or what?"
Yeah.
That's the honesty I want.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But most people run from that. Most people run from that type of talk, that type of honesty, because 9 times out of 10, if they're running from that type of talk, they're masking something, some type of trauma, some type of toxic. They're masking it. That's why you come off as negative to a person that you get. Hey, listen, I'm a mess. I'm a hot mess sometimes. I say it all the time.
Mhm.
I'm very complex.
Yep.
Let me know if you can deal with it. If you can't, hey, good. We still can still be friends.
Yeah.
We still can be friends. But I'm gonna let you know. Let me put my shit on the table for you.
Yeah.
I don't want you sorting this out. Let's sort this out together.
Yeah.
Here's my chisel. Let's work on this chisel.
Because those same people, like, for instance, somebody's in a bad accident. So if you have those people who only want the representative, and only if something happens, their spouse gets into a bad accident that they're dying, they'll leave,
Exactly.
and
So
that's
for
that's
all
not what
those
you want.
folks I see online talking, even in person, I see these for all relationships are hard, men are dogs, women are this, and all this other stuff. It's simple, man.
Yeah.
Relationship is simple. Communication, putting your shit on the table.
Right.
We're too grown to not put our shit on the table. We're way too grown. I'm 50,
Yeah.
51 to be exact. All my shit is on the table.
Yeah. And
Deal with it or keep it moving.
there's a lot of toxic people out there who are giving relationship advice, and I tell people, if you're talking to somebody and they're giving relationship advice and they're not talking about their personal relationships, there's a reason for it, and don't take advice for them. Like, don't go get relationship advice from a woman who's dating a married man. She's not going to tell you how to get a man, because she can't keep one herself. She's got to get somebody else's. Don't get relationship advice from somebody who's living in his mama's basement, who's divorced 6 times.
Exactly.
You need to get the good advice, because they're going to pass on their mess because they haven't worked through their mess.
Actually, Martine just sent me a message.
Oh,
She's reminding me of something that we talked about. We talked about good energy will sometimes attract all types. Totally agreed.
mm-hmm,
We talk a lot. When we talk at length.
mm-hmm.
And good energy does attract all types. We just
Yeah,
have to know how to sort through that stuff, man.
that is true. Definitely. But there's a lot of really great people out there who are looking for other really great people. So it's just a matter of being patient, and don't close yourself into the locations where you're searching,
Exactly.
or the group that you're searching. You know what I mean? Hit up
Exactly.
hit up the nerds. The nerds are great. You know, you like
Wait, wait, wait,
surgeons up the top.
wait. You just went out with a surgeon. That didn't work for you.
He's not a nerd. Surgeons are science geeks.
That is so
So,
funny, man.
yeah,
It's
but
so funny that once you reminded me about the whole lobster thing, I remember that, every time you came over, I wouldn't do any. I was extra careful because I don't think I did no seafood for you when you spend the week.
only
Well,
shrimp. Only shrimp. 'Cause
only
that's
shrimp. Yeah.
only shrimp, because that's my favorite.
Exactly. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. That is so funny that you told it, and I know you told it. I know you told it to him, and he
Hmm.
still ordered lobster.
No.
And maybe in his mind, he was trying to impress you.
Hmm.
And after having one conversation with you, he should have known that she's not gonna be impressed with that.
No.
She's not gonna be impressed with that.
No.
Come on, knock it off. But
No.
good stuff, man. Let's get to these comments before we losing my head. 1 second.
Oh, Joker dog. Yeah. Some
But
of every says sometimes your energy will attract some of every type. Don't mistake it as something being wrong with you. That's correct. Yeah.
exactly. But you have to understand that folks need to understand that, like, when they meeting folks and they're afraid to put their stuff on the table because they like these people like that. Nah, man. If you really like it like that, and I'm speaking to the gentleman at this point, if you really like it like that, put all your shit on the table. See what happens. If you put your shit on the table, she stay, okay, we're gonna work this out. We're gonna talk this stuff over. We're gonna talk it out. If you're open and honest with her, if she's the right one, she's gonna be transparent and open and honest with you. Makes for a great relationship.
Yeah. I'm gonna
But
disagree.
still,
I'm gonna disagree with what Joker dog says. Pull his comment up, and I'll explain why.
I didn't see Joker Dog. Where is it? Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
Good stuff, Joker Dog.
Yeah, it's a good comment. It says, regardless of what someone says or doesn't say, you can't really know what a person will do until it happens. Now, part of that, I agree with it, but there's always a precursor. There's always something that else has happened prior to that person is giving you an example of what they will or will not do.
Exactly.
whether it's in
I
a
call that
conversation or something else.
I call that red flag. Sometimes we ignore the red flags because we're really attracted to this person.
Yeah.
Not that red flag is there for a reason.
Yeah. And
Sometimes that red flag is a fluorescent flag and it's beaming lights. But because we attracted to that person, we're going to ignore it.
yeah.
I totally agree.
And that's why when we ditch that emotional connection and that extraordinary person becomes an ordinary person, we then see all the red flags and you're like, what was I thinking?
Exactly. Martini also says that mainly I prefer the man's character, yet he does need order in his life, mentally, spiritually, and financially. Good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Totally agree.
Yep.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. Good stuff. I thought I saw Tammy here still. 1 second. Let's get to her real quick.
No, we got that one.
Did we get that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think
Comments important. Shannon, come back on Wednesday because this is very hard.
I'm gonna. Oh, he showed up.
What up, Slash?
Oh, Cox Cable is down for the second half. All right.
Gotcha.
Read through the comments and get caught up, sir. I'm curious. I'm more than curious on your take on this.
What up, Slash? I knew something had to be going on. The Slash didn't check in at the number one up on the feed there today. Good stuff. Good stuff. So I totally agree with the comments and actually with Joker Dog. I'll partially agree with you, but again, I've done this a ton of times. I forget that fluorescent red light because I really like her. I'm really into her. I just discard that. I just forget about that and move forward. Hey, you know what? I could change her. That's what the whole I could change her come into play. I could change her. I could work with her. Hey, I used to be a coach. I could coach her through this. No, I couldn't. No, I couldn't. I couldn't do it. She has to do that for herself. Good stuff, man. Let's get to.
Tammy says she disagrees with who we get advice from. Pull that up. I disagree with who we can get advice from. Truth be told, none of us suitable if we're basing it on where we live and who we live with. The man in his mom's basement may have decided not to settle. No, remember I said the six-time divorced man in his mom's basement. One of the biggest mistakes I believe we've made is discounting the unity of family and living together. Oh no, I'm not talking. Generational living is completely different. Generational living is completely different than somebody living in their mom's basement because.
Explain.
So generational living is when we all live together and we work as a village, raising our family together. So where I come from, we still have like family compounds.
And here's the thing, and that's why I've always been connected to you and attracted to you from the jump. Like our relationship was wonderful because your thought process, everything about your thought process. So in America, that's looked upon as a negative when it's really not. But go ahead. Continue.
So where I come from in Newfoundland, we still have like family compounds. Like my hometown, the street's named after my family. Like my aunt lives here, my uncle lives here. Everybody lives around each other. So generational living, I am all for generational living. That's my whole. I wish it was done here more. But there's a difference between generational living and the angry, toxic man who lives in his mom's basement because nobody else wants to live with him. Exactly. And she's the only one who will put up with them. That's the guy I'm talking about. Not the good guy who's taking care of his mother. Not the good guy who has like this family around him. The toxic guy. Because that's the guy who you don't want to get the advice from.
Exactly.
Like the guy living with the generational trauma, please, with the generational family.
No, you said it right. You said it right.
Well, he has
trauma.
Listen,
generational trauma. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because we can carry that stuff, man. We carry that stuff over.
Yeah, because there's
that stuff.
When I started talking, a very specific person came to my mind. So that was a Freudian slip.
Good stuff. Oh, she also says,
maybe Mary's number 5.
Wow. Okay. One more time. She said a guy used to see about to get married for the umpteenth time. Woo. Okay. Gotcha.
That's because some people change partners instead of changing themselves.
Exactly. Woo. One more time.
People will change partners instead of changing themselves.
Exactly. I call that the runaway.
Hmm.
I call that the track shoe runner. I call that the runner. She's a track star, or he's a track star. Gonna run away when it gets hard. That's
Yeah.
the runner. Because they refuse to pick up the inward mirror.
Hmm.
They
And
constantly refuse to pick up the inward mirror.
and working on yourself
Oh
is
wow,
not.
I'm getting private messages here from a 40-year-old.
Uh-oh.
He
What
says
is?
that this doesn't apply just to 50-year-olds. Okay, I totally agree with that.
Oh yeah.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I don't doubt it. That's him. Oh
Good
yeah.
stuff. I'm speaking on 50, Miss Lady, because I'm 50. Okay.
Because we're old. Yeah, we're
Hey,
silver.
hey, hey! Hold on, hold on.
Silver singles.
Speak for yourself. Speak for yourself. You said old. Don't nothing like my dad used to say. Nothing get old but clothes.
Well, experience then, whatever.
Absolutely. Okay. Joker Dog. Oh no, did we do that one?
Yeah, we did that one.
Gotcha.
I'm waiting for our buddy Mr. Marine to come back. Or is he still reading the comments?
Okay, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Changing partners instead of changing themselves. She's agreeing with you. Good stuff.
Yeah. It is. It's relationships. We make them harder than they should be because we don't know how to communicate most of the time, and we don't know how we want to be loved, and so we love people the way that we want, and that's not the way they want to be loved. And because we're not communicating and we're not sharing all these informations because we don't want to be vulnerable, because vulnerability is supposedly like a bad thing nowadays, that it just causes issues. Like if you're open and feel safe and and able to be vulnerable and communicate with somebody, you can have an amazing relationship.
Exactly. Joker Dog just threw a bone back in. Let's see what he said. Ever consider Proverbs 31 as a standard for a spouse? Go ahead, D.
Sir, it is 2021. 2022. According to the Bible, I'm not supposed to be speaking right now. So, like, if you want to have a Proverbs 31 wife, then have at her. I can hook you up with a group, rurally, the Wife Club. She breeds Proverbs 31 wives, and that's
Do
your
you know
thing.
you know exactly what Proverbs 31
Yeah,
says?
I have a religious studies degree.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, I'm well aware of it. Yeah, that is not me. Yeah. But I am the most loving, kind, sweetest, amazing person. But yeah, no, I already know where that's going. So,
Good stuff, Joker.
but but that's the thing. If that's who you're looking for, then that's what you look for. And there are
Good
groups
stuff.
you can look for them.
That was a great. Hey, you gotta admit though, that was a great comment. So great, I gotta put it back up on the screen because you saw the expression on your face as you were reading. You was like, without saying it, because I know you like you read that shit. I'm not about to read that.
What would Proverbs 31 have? Oh, what did it say? What would Proverbs 31 have to do with bringing balance to a union as a standard for us?
Wait, hold on. Let's get to it.
So he said, ever consider Proverbs 31 as a standard for a spouse, and then
Right.
Marty, yeah, and then right below it,
Right below it.
Marty Girl says, what would Proverbs 31? Let me roll it up.
There we go.
What would Proverbs 31 have to do with bringing balance to a union? So listen.
I knew that was gonna bring something out of somebody when I saw it. But you gotta admit that was a good one. He threw a bone in. That's cool. Appreciate you tuning in, Joker Dog. Appreciate you tuning in, brother.
And
Good stuff.
so let me.
Go ahead, just open up. Go ahead.
Part of Proverbs,
I own the
31.
platform, so nobody's gonna find you or nothing. If they're gonna come looking, they're gonna look for me. Go ahead.
Listen, part of Proverbs 31 is it talks about do not spending your strength on women, right? Your vigor on those who will ruin kings, lest they drink and forget. And like um, the Bible is very oppressive when it comes to male-female relationships
Right.
because it's written in a time where women had no voice. So to maintain a standard in 2022 where women have no voice, you want your spouse to be a doormat, and that
Right.
is not literally not a constructive, healthy relationship for either person. You've taken
Right.
away a person's voice based um, on the Bible, which the Bible has a lot of great things in there, but there's a lot of fucked up stuff in there too.
And that's like I said
And
earlier in the beginning, like you don't throw away all the traditions. I don't believe you
yeah,
throw away all the traditions, but you have to bend a little for these times.
yeah,
You have to, I like to say adjust and adapt for these times. So
yeah,
I'm not saying throw everything traditional out. I think they have some great things, back in the day. Great things. But you have to adjust and adapt. You have to adjust and adapt if you
yeah,
want something fruitful, in my opinion.
yeah. Like I know some people who because I talk to a lot of people. There's one group that I was definitely not the person they wanted to have do public speaking that day. So it was a group of women who believe that men should lead, and to the point where they have no say, they have no knowledge of the financial goings on in their homes. They have no knowledge, they don't have any choice in their children's education, their children's religious upbringing. They have no choice in anything in their house. They are just there to cook, clean, and bear children.
Okay, let me give him a chance to come back here. I'll give him a chance to come back. He says that balance to a union, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, gentleness, faithfulness, and self-control.
Yeah,
I agree.
but you don't need to be a Proverbs 31 person to do that.
He's addressing you, D. Coach D. People have applied people have applied the Bible incorrectly. The application of love should be based on love and not
Mhm.
control.
Oh,
Totally agree.
you are correct, and
Great comeback, Joker Dog. Great comeback.
the whole Bible should be has been applied incorrectly. That's a whole other conversation we could
But
get into.
here's my thought process on that, on men, on controlling men. When you find a controlling man like that, and everything has to be in his hands, and he has to have total control, there's some type of insecurity going on in that
Hmm.
person. There's
Yep,
something insecure going on within him,
yep,
and you have to bear some of the responsibility of choosing that man
yep, yep,
because you should have saw it from the beginning. So that's some type of insecurity going on. If he want control over everything,
yeah.
I don't want
But
control over everything. Everything. Come
but
on.
yeah, but sadly, still in 2022, there are some girls who are raised to that's the way it's supposed to be, and it's horrible. Like I helped get a lady out of a domestic violence situation, and
Great.
that's
Well,
how she was
I'll
raised.
say this. I'll say this upon closing. Great leaders
Hmm.
share the leadership. Great leaders take the back seat when needed.
Exactly. Yeah. What was it from My Big Fat Greek Wedding? Men are the head, but women are the neck. I love that because my stepdad's Greek.
Gotcha. But
Yeah.
that, that's balance, man. In a nutshell, you have to have balance. In anything, that be friendships, relationships, you have to have some type of balance.
Hmm.
If you're not into balance, and to me, balance equal teamwork, partnership. There's no one-sided situation in it. On the
Right.
male side or the female side. Has to be some balance, some great balance. What's
Yeah.
your thoughts on that?
It's true because if you don't have balance and there's an inequality, there's always going to be regret and resentment. And if you have resentment or regret of any type, it's never going to lead to a good place.
Totally agree. It's one after the hour. We're gonna get to these last comments, and we'll actually be back on Wednesday so that Shannon could talk this girl talk with D about the whole thing, because
I'll share the
she knew I
deets.
wasn't gonna she knew I wasn't gonna ask the girly questions and all this other stuff, because guys just not wired like that. So Shannon will be back with all the girly questions. Let's get to these last comments, and then we'll close out. But we'll be back on Wednesday for part 2 of Dating After 50.
Hmm.
Martine also says that, okay,
Yep.
there are lots lots of us sistering who are more without the Proverbs 31 label. Okay.
Yep.
Totally agree.
I find the Proverbs 31 label is very limiting.
One more time. Can you see that, D? Can you read that one?
We have to have balance. Lots of guys need so much help and can hardly lead. So in my opinion, there's no way I can agree to sit up and wait for a guy to dictate, make all or most of the decisions. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Good stuff. Good stuff. In closing, D, tell folks where they can find you.
So my website is dlaylor.com. That shows my conscious parenting style. You can always email me at dlaylor@gmail.com if you want to reach out. I don't have a contact on my website because I do a lot of social justice work, so it eliminates the hate mail, plain and simple.
Exactly.
So dlaylor.com is my email address. You're more than welcome to hit me up. I'm always up for a conversation, and have fun.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So we'll be back on Wednesday with Shannon with the girly questions for.
I'll share I will share the details then.
The whole thing is, I just didn't want to get into the whole. Well, what did he do next and all this other fools? Just I let the women deal with that one. So that's good stuff there, man. So until Wednesday, we'll be back with another conversation. Actually, to the continuation of this conversation. So we'll be back on Wednesday, 7:00 Central, 8 Eastern. Anything else, D?
Joke Dog says a lovely guy would not be a dictator. So that's a good comment to end the show on.
Let's see. Let's get to him real quick. These folks in
very last one.
Okay, gotcha.
A loving guy would not be a dictator. Totally
agree. And that's wonderful to drop it off on. A loving guy would not be a dictator. Exactly.
And I will see you next Wednesday. I have to go get the little guy ready for school tomorrow. We have pictures, so we got to get his hair done.
Sounds good. You guys be epic. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.